Now, on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
It's 6:07 on this Wednesday morning. Thanks for tuning into O'Connor and Company. 27th day of August. Next week, it's Labor Day and the first week of September. Insane as kids are going back to school, starting to get chillier, fall time. It's crazy how fast 2025 is flying by, but we're here for it. Coming up in 30 minutes, Cal Thomas will join us for our weekly visit. 7:05, Andrew Gradison, Assistant Secretary of HHS, about removing transgender ideology from sex education curriculum. 8:05, Gordon Chang on the Chinese students controversy. We'll get into it in just a moment, in fact. And then at 8:35, the Attorney General of Montana, Austin Knudsen. It's Larry O'Connor alongside Julie Gunlock. Good morning, Julie.
Good morning.
Should we talk about Taylor Swift first?
Why not?
I mean, start of every hour. No, let's not. All right. We discussed this yesterday. Let's give you a quick flashback. On Monday, President Trump, in the Oval Office, made this somewhat abrupt and surprising announcement. Cut 10 here, if we could.
We're going to get along good with China. I hear so many stories about we're not going to allow their students, or we're going to allow their students to come in. We're going to allow, it's very important, 600,000 students. It's very important.
Yeah, very important to allow 600,000 Chinese students into this country. Currently, by the way, there are only about 230,000, I believe, Chinese students from communist China. By the way, there's more on this I want to get into, but completely tangentially unrelated, but another story broke yesterday. A research student at the University of Texas, his name is Yun-Hai Lee. He's been charged with espionage and the theft of trade secrets. He was research student, had received his PhD at Chongqing Medical University. I believe that's in Wyoming. Yun-Hai Lee, doctorate from Chongqing Medical University, was then doing research at the University of Texas, now been charged with spying on the United States of America. Completely unrelated, of course. Okay, anyway, back to President Trump wanting to allow 600,000 Chinese students into the country. Laura Ingraham, Monday night, pressed Commerce Secretary Lutnick about this. Cut 11.
Mr. Secretary, with all due respect, how is allowing 600,000 students from the communist country of China putting America first?
Well, the president's point of view is that what would happen if you didn't have those 600,000 students is that you'd empty them from the top. All the students would go up to better schools, and the bottom 15% of universities and colleges would go out of business in America. So his view is he's taking a rational economic view, which is classic Donald Trump, looking at higher education and saying,
but why are you
until
helping
we
Harvard?
Modify that.
That just
What's
helps
that?
Harvard and UCLA and UCal Berkeley and I mean you're all helping those schools. Why? They're like, basically factories of anti-American propaganda. And now they're getting a big influx of cash because of the Chinese students. I know President Trump has always been very pro-Chinese student. I just don't understand it for the life of me. Those are 600,000 spots that American kids won't get.
Yeah, it's the opposite of America First, right?
Well, 15% of colleges would go out of business. Don't threaten me with a good time. I mean, what's the problem? We have a major problem with higher ed in this country because of these insane universities and their insane policies. What is the problem? And really, if we have 15% of universities will go out of business because they don't get Chinese students, what does that say?
Yeah.
That's insane. And they should shut down.
Yeah. By the way, I don't know if you remember this story. We were on the air when it happened. At 2023, a Chinese student at the Illinois Institute of Technology named Ji Chao-kun was sentenced to 8 years in prison for acting as an illegal agent of the China's Ministry of State Security. He was apparently caught gathering information on individuals in the U.S. for potential recruitment as spies. Of course, that's not at all connected to this story, or, for that matter, neither are the 5 Chinese students from the University of Michigan charged last year with espionage-related offenses for taking photos of military equipment at Camp Grayling during a training exercise involving Taiwanese forces. Again, completely unrelated to this. I just, for some reason, popped into my head those stories that I wanted to share with you. Yesterday at the cabinet meeting, the president was pressed on this issue, and here's what he said. Cut 12.
We're getting along very well with China, and I'm getting along very well with President Xi. I think it's very insulting to say students can't come here, because they'll go out, they'll start building schools, and they'll be able to survive it. But I like that their students come here. I like that other countries' students come here. And you know what would happen if they didn't? Our college system would go to hell very quickly. You'd have, and it wouldn't be the top colleges. It would be colleges that struggle on the bottom. And you take out 300,000 or 600,000 students out of the system. I like having, and I told this to President Xi, that we're honored to have their students here. Now, with that, we check and we're careful and we see who's there. And Marco wants that. We're in the same position. But we have a tremendous college system, the best in the world. Nobody even close. That's why China sends them here. And you can call it an industry if you want, but you're talking about millions of people. And I'm honored to have the students from China come here. And we're just getting along very well with China. And
this is classic soft power diplomacy he's talking about, right? Persuasion and attraction. This is bringing people in, being nice, showing a generation of Chinese youth how wonderful free markets are and capitalism. But there's some serious concerns, like you just mentioned, a few cases of them deploying college students into the United States to spy. And that you cannot dismiss the national security risk here.
It's absolutely nuts. And I mean, we're already complaining that our kids go to college and come back Marxists. And so, and now we're inviting 600,000 actual communists to come in and hang out. And do we think that they don't have casual conversations? Do we think that there isn't any sort of influence? I mean, if I were American and I was studying abroad, I would be talking up how great things are in the United States. We're going to talk to Gordon Chang about this coming up at 8:05. Maybe he can shed some light, because I know that President Trump relies on Gordon Chang. He's not an official advisor to the administration, but I'm aware that he's actually in the room oftentimes when these things are discussed. I hope that he's drawing some wisdom. And maybe Gordon will talk me off the ledge on this and say, no, Larry, this is okay. Here's why. I don't know. I haven't talked to him about it. We'll find out.
Well, I do think there are people that really appreciate this. Is classic Bush soft diplomacy persuasion. And what's funny is that all these principled Republicans, these sort of never Trumpers, they love this stuff typically.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
They'll figure out a way to criticize it, even though this is what they typically want out of a U.S. president. So Gordon Chang will be great to talk to about all of this.
Listen, our approach with China has always been, let's be as open as possible, cooperate with them as possible, make them reliant on us and us reliant on them. That way there won't be any war. There won't be, but that hasn't worked. They're still aggressive. They're still trying to undermine us at everything. They still spy on us. They still hack our systems. That's they're still hostile toward us.
Well, they're still deploying diseases.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hello.
I got an idea. How about they actually pay up for COVID-19 first before we let any of their kids into our schools?
Sure.
By the way, Babylon Bee always nails it. Their headline: Genius Trump enacts plan to dumb down Chinese population by inviting them to attend American colleges. It's 6:15.
Brilliant.
WMAL. There you go. He's playing 4D chess again, guys.
WMAL, making sense of the news. Live from the Home Paramount Pest Control Studios. Home Paramount, the leader in pest control since 1939.
All right. About 2 weeks ago when Fairfax started school, Julie received from an anonymous tipster a form where it was an English class, if I remember right, where the teacher was asking children about their preferred pronouns, what name they go by, whether their name or pronouns are different from what they tell their parents or guardians. Again, implanting this seed that it's okay, I'll keep your secret for you. This bond with a teacher and a child behind parents' back. Yesterday we told you about how a friend of the program, Corey Ganamort, got a similar form leaked to him from Arlington school systems. And now, Julie, Alexandria says, hold my beer. What did you get yesterday?
I'm a very competitive person, as you know, and I love Corey. But my pamphlet and my handout was worse. And I'll tell you why. But again, props to Corey for also exposing. He got a similar handout sent to him, and he put it on Twitter. And I think that's really key. You got to expose these things because these teachers, and I actually have the name of the teacher, Dega Sears, works at Alexandria City Public Schools. She handed a flyer out to her students. And the reason it's more insidious than Corey's is because it like Corey's, it says, what are your pronouns? What's your preferred name? Okay. And right there, you're planting the seed. Oh, I can choose this. Oh, I can pretend to be a different gender, and I can pretend to have a different name than what my mom and dad gave me, right? What I was baptized as. Okay, fine. That's bad enough. Then it goes on to say, are these pronouns, can I use these pronouns when talking to a caregiver? Same question for, can I use this chosen name when talking to a caregiver? See where this is going? And then the last one, if the answer is no to either of these, what should I call you? Okay, so essentially, this is what we're talking about, social transitioning in schools. In schools, they are called a certain name, and teachers use a certain pronoun, and then at home, they're called something different, and then that teacher is willing to use the preferred name so mom and dad don't find out, okay? So, it's not, what do you prefer to be called and referred to as? And then I call your mom and I use that name and pronouns. No, we're going to have a secret pact. I'm going to keep your secret from your parents. This is social transitioning. This is planting the seed. It's enormously dangerous when an adult does this to a child because it conveys this is okay. It's our little secret. And look, counselors will always tell you when an adult tells you to keep a secret from your parents, that is a clear sign of abuse. This is abusive, and it's being handed out in class by a teacher that's employed by the schools. Yeah. It's out of control.
Do you know what grade level this form was used for?
I will tell you this. I am not going to say what grade this child is in, but he is not in high school yet.
Okay. So under 13 and under.
Yep.
At least. Yeah, this is, and so
a very
again,
young child was given this.
Right in the heat of puberty.
That's
and
right.
all of the stress and pressure and social dynamics that go along with that when children are most vulnerable.
I'm glad you said heat of puberty, because it also, in addition, these schools, gender-neutral bathrooms. So imagine a girl who just begins to menstruate, okay? And believe me, that is a confusing and difficult time for young girls. Having to go into a bathroom with a boy, can you imagine? Or share a locker room with a boy when you're just getting your period? It's horrible for young girls. Or I'm not dismissing the concerns of boys. Their bodies are changing. They feel uncomfortable. They feel weird. The idea, we've seen this in Loudoun County, those boys, when that girl walked into that bathroom and filmed those boys understandably and naturally felt uncomfortable. And the school's like, you got to deal with it. You're the one who has the problem. It's sick. It's sick, Larry.
So this is Alexandria Public Schools.
Yep.
And this was tipped to you. You've named this teacher here because the teacher's name is on the form.
Yep.
Right. So this is a Ms.
Dega Sears.
Dega Sears. Sears is spelled Cers. Now, is this a one-off and this is unique to this teacher, or is this the policy of this school, or is it the policy of Alexandria Public Schools?
Look, I believe this is pretty widespread. I have friends who've told me their children go into classes first day and are asked, what are your pronouns? What's your preferred name? Obviously, Corey, former producer at WMAL, he also tweeted a very similar form. So these forms are being used in public schools. This is not something that's just Alexandria, just Northern Virginia. I think this is something that's pretty widespread.
It's also remarkable to me that they want the student to fill this out and have some sort of record. And the form that you sent is a Google form. It's an online form, so I guess they're using their laptop or what have you. It's like, again, I hate to be that guy, but first day of school, the teacher's got the roster. They call out everybody's name. Like, I was always Lawrence O'Connor, and I would raise my hand and say, I go by Larry. Oh, okay. Teacher makes a note. It's over.
That's done.
It's done. Why even go that? This makes it so, it stresses the importance of this and the weight of this issue and the fact that you have to proactively and explain that you are in fact a he because you were born a he.
Well, also there is the expectation also that students have to abide by this. So if little Sally says, no, I'd like to be called Bob and I would like you to use he, him. So a child then has to go, oh, Sally, who looks like a girl, acts like a girl, has all the markers of a girl. No, I have to remember he, him, because that child, if that child is misgendered, the student who misgendered him could get in trouble. I mean, talk about pressure for these kids.
All right. Well, hopefully all we can do from this position is to shed light on it and expose it, and then it's up to you all to raise this issue with your elected officials. They do work for you. These are your schools. You pay for them. And that's all we can do. And yes, you're right. The pressure is enormous, not just on the kids, but not just on the individual kid, but socially on the entire group of kids. Like for me, for instance, it was very traumatic because no one had to remember my pronouns or anything, but I would say Lawrence, I would say Larry, and then for the next month on the playground, I was Larry the Fairy. And I'm just now getting over it. It's 6:24.
Coming up, it's our favorite time of the morning. It's Cal time. Keep it here. 6:30.
WMAL FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now. Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
It is 8:37. Thanks for joining us here on our Wednesday morning extravaganza. Coming up at 7:05, the Assistant Secretary for HHS, Andrew Grattison, about the removal of gender ideology from school curriculums. 8:05, Gordon Chang on those 600,000 Chinese students the president wants to bring in. 8:35, the Attorney General of Montana. He is suing, or I keep saying suing. He is kindly requesting that the EPA stop funding legal groups that are lobbying judges on climate cases. That's all coming up. It's Larry O'Connor alongside Julie Gunlock. Good morning, Julie.
Good morning.
We have, I think we've talked the Taylor Swift engagement to death. We don't need to, when you've got Cal Thomas, syndicated columnist, longtime D.C. hand, he knows politics, he knows government, he knows corruption, he knows all that stuff. You don't waste Cal Thomas's time on Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce getting engaged.
Well, you know why it took 2 years? The lawyers had to write the prenup.
For her, not for him.
That is the grumpy kind of commentary we are looking for right now.
That's
well
right.
done.
Yeah, no.
Well, I'm happy for them, although I did like the Babylon Bees take. They had a referee throw the flag because Travis wasn't fully on his knee.
The knee did not touch the ground. That is correct.
Didn't touch the ground. That's right.
All right. Well, then let's move on to weightier, more important subjects. Can you believe Cracker Barrel caved on their logo?
My favorite line last night was Tyrus on the 5, who, speaking of Cracker Barrel, said, "White people need their own restaurant. It's not a problem." No, I think this is the dumbest decision in business since Bud Light. When I first heard about it, I heard that one of the board members had a DEI background. Well, right there, the red flag went up. These people sit around like young people, well, not so young, 30-year-olds in their pajamas in their parents' basements, having no life at all, seeing what statues they can tear down and what roads they can rename. And they said, well, let's see what traditional brand that we can attack. And so somebody came up with a stupid idea of taking Grandpa off the Cracker Barrel logo. Now, who doesn't like their grandpa? I mean, I've been in Cracker Barrel many times. Maybe you have too. There are young people in there. There are middle-aged people. There are old people. It's a fun throwback to another era, and people kind of like that given the era we're living in right now. So this is another idiotic business decision. How many more lessons does it take for people to wise up? What are they going to do next? Make Mickey Mouse binary?
Don't give them any ideas. Don't give them any ideas, Cal. Listen, another sort of head scratcher is residents. You've written about this in your column this week about how some D.C. residents appear to be angry that Trump has successfully reduced crime in the city. What do you make of that?
Well, these are probably just political animals. I mean, if you go into some of these neighborhoods, and I've been in them in Anacostia and Ward 7 and 8, and you talk to people who are there, who are the victims or potential victims of crime and burglaries and murder, or who survived drive-by shootings, or had relatives who did not survive drive-by shootings, they're all for a improved police force. But a couple of things need to happen. First of all, the National Guard is not going to be able to stay there forever. And when they withdraw, unless there is increased police force, and unless there is increased respect for the law, and most of all, unless fathers are put back in the home. In this column I wrote, I was shocked, really, to find 80% of people in prison, men in prison, came from fatherless homes. There's nobody there to show the way for discipline, respect for others, all those things most of us grew up with. So that's your major problem. It's a cliche, but that's the root cause. And unless you get fathers back in the home with loving discipline and knowing where their kids are at night and keeping them home at night, you're not going to have a substantial reduction in the kind of crime that we've been talking about.
What can be done, though, in terms of that? Because it seems like, you're caught between a rock and a hard place in terms of federal policies and trying to encourage. That's a cultural shift. And I'm dubious of the idea that the government can actually instigate a cultural shift.
No, you're absolutely right, Larry. I think that, Clinton tried midnight basketball. Remember that? We were going to
right.
Up the street, midnight basketball. All these other things have been tried. But I love what I quoted her many, many times, the late Barbara Bush, First Lady. It matters less what happens in the White House and more on what happens in your house. These collective individual decisions. I'm going to get married before I have kids. I'm going to be a responsible parent. I'm going to get my kids out of failing public schools and educate them somewhere else. I mean, you look at Ben Carson's story, the former HUD secretary, and he has an incredible story. I mean, he grew up, his mother checked his homework every night, he and his brother. He didn't find out till later that she was that she couldn't read. That she kept an eye on him. I mean, all these things. This is nothing that is yet to be discovered. These are old-fashioned, traditional things that work when applied. But we've come to an era where all boundaries about everything have been removed, and we're wondering why the cars are crashing.
Cal, I realized that I neglected to bounce the Kennedy Center honorees off of you last time we spoke. Quickly, if any of them jump out to you? Sly Stallone, Gloria Gaynor, Michael Crawford, Kiss, George Strait. And you excited about any of them?
I love Michael Crawford. I mean, the first time I saw him in Phantom, it just blew me away. He's an amazing performer. There's tremendous videos on YouTube of him getting reunited with Sarah Brightman in London.
Yeah.
He's just terrific. I do understand, though, that I'm on the standby list in case any are unable to serve.
Oh, good to know. I want to see you dress up in the Kiss makeup and accept one of those awards. That would be fantastic.
Well, I thought I might do some of my musical memories. We like to do that on the show every now and then.
One thing we know about Cal Thomas, he likes to rock and roll all night and party every day. Thank you, Cal.
That's right. Bye.
Thanks, Cal.
6:43.
Making sense of your world.
I don't know where to begin.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Thanks for taking my call.
Making sense of the news. Mark Levin, weekdays 6 till 9 on 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
As we mentioned, the president had a cabinet meeting yesterday, a couple of hours, fully transparent with media in the room, asking questions, interacting with all the cabinet members. And Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who I think you would agree, Julie Gunlock, has really come into his own over these first 7 months as Secretary of State. not just on policy, on debating with the media, handling hostile questioning, across the board, right? But let's tweak Julie's microphone there to make sure that everyone can hear her instead of just me. Yeah.
I was saying such nice things about Rubio, too, to myself. Yeah, he's incredible, and he's very funny. That's the thing. That's the key.
Well, yesterday, It was like a stand-up routine. He's sitting right next to Trump, and he's playing off of Trump's good humor. Let's start with this cut as he's reflecting on the fact that this is the last cabinet meeting before Labor Day weekend.
Mr. President, first of all, everyone's made this comment already and needs to be echoed again. You were elected as the president of working Americans, and that's why this Labor Day is so meaningful. For me personally, this is the most meaningful Labor Day of my life as someone with 4 jobs. And so... It's true.
Come on, that's good stuff right there.
Listen to that laughter. What a
great
scene.
And then, Rubio is famous for proposing that we do away with daylight savings time, which, again, we haven't acted on it yet officially, but it needs to happen. He also came up with another brilliant idea, as this is not only Labor Day weekend, but it's also this Saturday, the opening day of college football. And Secretary of State Marco Rubio, in this moment, speaks for so many of us, specifically we men, at this exciting time in our lives. Take a listen.
This thing about people getting married on Saturdays during college football season is a scourge, Mr. President. It's dividing families. I don't know if we can have an executive order on this. It's insane. But it's really difficult. There's 7 other months of the year that people can get married, so I just wanted to say that because it's very, very difficult. Thank you.
It's true. It's true.
Thank you.
You find out someone's getting married, you get the invitation, and it's on a Saturday in college football season. That's an absolute insanity. What are people thinking?
Yes, I totally agree. But I have to say just one comment. Just the idea that they can sit around this table and joke like this and laugh at each other and laugh and have moments like this. Yeah. My goodness, the difference from well, first of all, we never knew what was going on in Biden's cabinet meetings. They were never open to the press. But this is clearly a team that enjoys each other, enjoys working together, and it's great to see.
It's the golden age, Julie. It's the golden age. 6:53.